Hey, what is up YouTube? So Caleb here again. Thank you very much for checking in. And I just got back home. It's Sunday evening here right now. We have a beautiful sunset right outside my condo. So I want to make a video to talk about how do you become a designer without going to school. Kind of like a continuation of the video I make a few days ago, the reason why you should not go to a design school. But again, like that was just my opinion. If you want to go to a design school, by all means go to a design school. But this video is all about like what you can do without going to school. How can you still be a very successful graphic designer without going to a design school? So that's what all this video is about. So like I guess it's gonna be more for like people that are getting into design. But if you're already doing design stuff, it may still apply to you because like there's some tips to help you to improve your design skill as well. So you may want to listen to this video too. But if you're just getting started, a lot of my friends gonna ask me like they are thinking about getting into design, but they're not sure about like if you have to be very creative, if you have to be very talented to get into design. The very short answer is like, no, I don't think you have to be very talented. Everything can be improved by your hard work. So as long as you're kind of into the design thing, you can definitely catch up without being very talented. So I think like the curiosity is what makes people become better. So you have to be curious about something and have to know how to learn how to get better. And this video is to tell you how you can get you better in design. So let's get into the content of the video. So so to be a successful graphic designer, I think there are 7 steps that you may want to follow. Not exactly, you don't have to follow exactly step by step, but there are 7 steps that come together that maybe you would like to consider doing. Ideally follow exactly, because what my goal in here is that like people spend years and years in school, and I think there's a quicker way for you to finish everything you have to learn to become a graphic designer in 1 year. So the 7 steps, I kind of break them into a 1 year time frame. So if you follow exactly, it will only take you 1 year. But by 1 year, I'm talking about like a full-time students for 1 year. And by student, you're not self-taught. I would not say it's self-taught. I would say it's self-learning, kind of like a student. So you're learning by yourself. So that's what I mean by it. So let's get right into it. So the very first step is that I think you have to study all the fundamentals. So let's think about fundamental in design. It's like when you're learning a language, you have to kind of study the grammar, right? Before you can put things together, you have to before you can put together a sentence, you have to learn the grammar first. So I think design fundamentals is kind of like learning the grammar. So I would say it wouldn't take you too long. You don't have to be super good at all the fundamentals, so you don't have to be super great at knowing all the let's say spacing, what is the contrast in design, how do you emphasize something, what is typography, what is alignments, what is color scheme and color usage and all this, right? All this fundamental you can learn in 1 week. You don't have to be crazy good at it, but you have to know what they are because you're gonna apply those skills into your design thing. So I would suggest you spend 1 week, full-time 1 week, 40 hours a day. 40 hours a week, every single day. Just sit down, study the fundamentals. I'm gonna have a lot of links down below for you to get started. Like how can you learn this fundamental by yourself? So there are gonna be helpful links down below in the video. So you may want to follow those. And for the second step, another week. So 1 week for fundamentals, and then another weeks to learn the design softwares. So right now in the industry, for graphic designer, I'm more talking about like what I do. So I am a UI and UX designer, and for this video, we're gonna focus more on the UI side. So 1 week to learn all the softwares that you have to use to be able to create your design. So I would say, right now in the industry, right, Sketch, there's a Sketch software called Sketch. It's very popular, and all the designers right now, they're changing from Photoshop to using Sketch to create their UI elements. So you may want to focus a lot on learning Sketch. So you want to spend 1 week to learn the software, and then if you have time, I would suggest you learn Illustrator as well. So Adobe Illustrator, Sketch, Adobe Illustrator, and also learn Photoshop too, because sometimes if you want to make your photo look better, Photoshop is still the thing to kind of like beautify your photos. So again, like you want to learn 3 things. Spend a lot of time in Sketch. When you master Sketch skill, then you can apply the similar skill to Illustrator and Photoshop. So again, 40 hours per week to learn all this software. I think it's more than enough if you think about like you're learning full time. So again, like some tutorials down below, how can you learn Sketch, learn Photoshop, learn Illustrator. So links down below. Third step is a very, very, very important step. Okay, imagine right now, right? When you're trying to learn something, when you're trying to learn a language, you have to copy somebody. You have to copy your mom, right? You have to copy your dad, mom. They teach how to speak. So third step is I want you to copy and even steal somebody else's design. So you want to try to gather all this information, all this cool design out there. You want to try to copy their style. But right now, what I just said, right? When you learn something, you want to take into practice. So now you know how to use this software, you know how to use Sketch and all this, right? I want you to try to go online and find designers that you think is a perfect example that you want to follow. I want you to go to try to copy the people's work. So download their design, try to copy exactly pixel to pixel. If you don't know how to do that, I actually made a video before to teach people how to copy a design. How did I learn? Even when I just started design, right? I have to copy somebody's design and learn from it. And this step, why would I say it's very, very important? It's because like I know a lot of designers, they get into design and then they kind of learn from a not very good way. And eventually it's very hard for them to change, to adapt to a different style. So think about right now, right? When you're just getting started, you're more like a baby. So you don't want to like learn something that is not what people will pay for. So we want to learn the right way. So I would strongly suggest you to find good designers. And you may ask like, hey Caleb, how do I know what is good design, what is bad design? That's a very good question, because you wouldn't know when you're just getting started. Everything to you looks great. You're like, go online, it's like, oh, that's great, it looks great. There's a button, there's tests. How do you know what is good or bad, right? If you don't know, I would suggest you to go on Dribbble, follow the top designers. Either if you want to learn poster designs, you want to learn everything, go on Dribbble, like look for top designer. Follow those top 10s, because those are the design that people pay very good money for. So you want to copy those people design, understand how they design, understand the kind of like their style, how they use fonts, what kind of font do they use, all this cool stuff. So learn from it, steal from it. All right, that's step 3. And step 3 is, again, it's going to take you a week to do that. So download, I don't know, every single day you may want to download like 3 or 4 designs and to study it. So very thoroughly. If they have 100 works, study that 100 works. So study all the things. Step 4 is going to be a long process. And step 4, I think it's going to take you 2 months to do it. Okay, so what is step 4? Step 4 is start designing stuff by yourself. Okay, so step 4, what are you going to design, right? How can you make something, and how can you just come up with projects, right? It'll be very hard to come up with fake projects, and I wouldn't suggest you to come up with fake projects, because like if you go on Dribbble, when I look at Dribbble, right, I can tell like if that is a fake project or not. When I look at a fake project, it means that you don't have clients work, like you don't have real work experience. So don't do fake project, don't do it. So how can you find real clients project? How can you look at a real spec? How can you understand what is the process when you're taking on clients work? And then when you're designing something for the clients, you have to always keep your clients in mind, right? You're designing something for people, not designing something for yourself. So how do you do that, right? There are a shitload of websites out there. One is called 99 Design, some is called like, I think, Upwork. Go on those websites. I think 99 Design is actually better. I'm not saying that you should care about the money. Don't care about the money. Like the money, they pay shit money to people. Like they pay, I don't know, like $100, $200 to design a website. It doesn't make no sense. So don't care, don't even worry about like participating in those competition. I would just suggest you to take a look at the project brief and take a look at what kind of thing that the clients are looking for, what kind of needs they are, and think about how can you solve their problems. So those are the exercises that you want to take. So now you have the skill from step 3, which is like understanding how your top designer design. Step 4 is for you to actually apply those skills into really real life situation. How can you solve clients' problems? So you want to think about like what kind of thing that you can design to help them to solve problems. So I will say this process is going to take you 2 months. All right, 2 months of work. Every single day you want to take on maybe like 1 to 2 projects, 1 to 2 style projects. So maybe like small project. If you're into product design, you can even think about like how can you design an actual real product depending on what you learn in step 3. So step 4, again, take on real projects. I would suggest you in 2 months of time, you may be able to come up with like 5 to 6 projects that are kind of finished. You can use to either put it in your portfolio or do what I'm gonna say in step 5. So what are you gonna do with step 5? Step 5, I want you to try to find a mentor. So find somebody that online that you think you can learn a lot of things from. You probably cannot find people that are the top 10 on Dribbble, right? So they have a lot of clients. They're probably gonna be very busy. But still, I want to try to find a person that you think you can learn a lot of things from. So what are you gonna do with this person, right? Or how are you gonna reach out to this person? So what I would suggest you do is that you can contact that person, and then you can just tell him, hey, I think your work is really good, and I've been following you for a long time, and I think I can learn a lot of things from you. So would you have time to be my mentor? I can hire you for hourly rate. So I don't know how much you're gonna pay him, but you may have to pay him some money for him to kind of like review your work and help you out to improve your design skill. So that's what I would suggest you do. Find a mentor. What you're going to do with this mentor is that you want to review all the things that you've done in step 4. So step 4, you've done a lot of projects. You have maybe like 6 to 8 projects for this mentor to review. So you want to show him all your work and have him go through it and to understand your design process and to add feedback on your work, so you know that what are the things that you have to improve on in order to kind of like design something that are like people will pay for. So find a mentor, work with the mentor for about like 3 months, and ask him like what are the things that you will need to do, and potentially, right, he may be able to recommend some of the real work to do. I don't know. So work with the person. So you want to understand like how the industry actually works. In other than like besides just creating stuff, I want you to learn from him for what are the things that what kind of skill you will need to be in a work environment. So what kind of thing that you will be doing in a day-to-day job. So we want to learn like the work culture. You want to learn the design techniques, and you want to learn whatever you think that will benefit you to find a really good job later on. So 3 months working with a mentor, try to understand what you need to understand, okay? And then step 6. Now step 6 is to create a Dribbble account. So right now, right, you have like all this thing, you polish all your work. So like the project you've done before and the project within the 3 months, you with this mentor, right? So you must have like some kind of thing that you can present on your Dribbble account. I'm leaving the Dribbble account to step 6 is because I don't want you to post up on Dribbble before you have something really polished to show on there. So you don't want to have like something that some crappy work on your Dribbble profile. So whatever you post on Dribbble, you want to make sure that those are the work that people pay for. So those are the work that can potentially help you get clients or get a real job. So post only your best work on there. If you have 10 works that you think is the best to show on Dribbble, post all those 10. But if you think that there's something that is below 50 or even below 70, I would not suggest you post it. I would suggest you just trash it away. Only post stuff that is higher than 70% to your Dribbble profile. But how are you gonna find how are you gonna get a Dribbble account? I'm not gonna talk about how are you gonna get that. Search online, how can you get the invite on Dribbble? I actually have like one or two invites I can send out as well. So you can let me know if you really have follow all this and then you want to get a Dribbble account. So step 6 is get a Dribbble account, put all your stuff on there. And you may also ask him, why don't I just like go on and create my own design portfolio, like a website with my own URL and all that, right? Like first reason is like if you really have time, if you have the skill to design your website, then go for it. But it really doesn't matter. And I would not suggest you to spend a lot of time to make your portfolio looks really good, because like the thing is like if you don't have good work to show, your portfolio doesn't matter. Even if I give you the best looking website, the best looking portfolio website, and then you put your work on there, then your work looks like pretty crappy. It still won't look good. So I think it's all depends on like what kind of work do you have to show on your portfolio. You have to have good work to show on there. If not, then nothing is gonna work. So I would suggest you to just focus on your work, not focus on building a beautiful looking portfolio. That is come maybe secondary. So that's step 6. Upload your work on Dribbble, and use your Dribbble profile as your resume. All right. So getting to step 7, and step 7 is the final step. After step 7, you basically graduate. So step 7 is gonna take 6 months. Okay, it's gonna take a long time. And what it is I want you to look for internship. So go out and find the best design agency out there to look for internship at the agency. And it's very simple. When you look for internship, don't just go to a website and see if they're hiring internship. Most of these companies, they're not gonna post like, hey, we're looking for internship right now, because they want people to actually do stuff, right? The thing about internship is that, like, when you're looking for internship, I don't even want you to expect that you're gonna get any money from this internship. I'm talking about free internship. I'm talking about like internship that can get you the skill. Think about it right now. You're not going to school already. This is kind of like the thing that can potentially help you to kind of equip yourself to be able to ready for getting a real job and getting a really high paying job, right? So think about, like, right now you're just going there and pay for your tuition. Okay, internship is basically like your tuition, but instead of going to school, you're going to a good agency and take the actual industry experience. So that's how I would say it. When you go to, let's say, Focus Lab, I don't even know if Focus Lab is looking for internship, but that's what I would do. Don't think about money. I'll just message them, hey, like, I'm a big fan of your work. Your agency does like top-notch work in the industry, and I think I can learn a bunch of things from you guys. And I am just starting into the design thing, and I've been doing a lot of design work myself, and I really want to learn from you guys. And I'm just wondering if you guys have a space for internship. I don't expect to be paid, but I just want to learn things from you guys, even if I'm just taking a small task. As long as I can contribute to some of the projects, I'll be very grateful. So that's kind of like the message you want to send them, and then you want to see if you can get a place in this kind of agency. And the reason why you want to find the top one is because you want to find one that you can put it on your portfolio. Put it on your resume. So when you go to the interview, right, you can say like, hey, I internship at Focus Lab for 3 months, and then the other studio for another 3 months. So when people see that, right, hey, they're gonna be, holy cow, this person internship at like Focus Lab, he must learn a lot of things. This is kind of like internship at Google, but then like you're internshipping at some of the top agency in the business. And then plus all this work that you've been doing, plus all the good work and everything combined together, then man, I would say you yourself right now, after a whole full year of doing internship. Oh, by the way, when you do internship, I would suggest you do internship at 2 different agencies. So you want to learn different teams, like how to collaborate with different people. So if possible, find 2 internship, not just 1, 2 company, 2 agency. But yeah, so after all this thing, right, I would say you're so much better equipped than a person going to school for 4 years and have no actual technical experience and haven't taken on any real project, real work. Because like in school, right, all you take on is just your school project, and you can definitely tell the difference between school work and the actual work. So I would want to hire a person that has experience doing real project 10 out of 10 times, not a person doing school work. But anyways, this is all the tips. I'm trying to like speak pretty fast in this video because I have just a lot of information and I don't want to make the video to be very, very long. So excuse me if I kind of like mumbling a little bit, but that's all I have to say. It's the 7th step. I really hope that you guys can maybe, it's not tested, to be honest. Like I just come up with like all this thing, and it's based on my experience in the industry for about like 6 years now, and that's what I think is gonna make a new designer to be much more valuable. And then after that, right, I think that's all for this video. But for the next video, I want to talk about like what you can do after you finish this whole year of your kind of I set a curriculum for you to go on and learn the skill, right? So after that, what you can do, what kind of action you can take to actually find a good job. So next video is gonna be my kind of like my suggestion for you to look for a good job, a well-paying job. You may not get paid 120K per year right away, but you're set on a good path to get there. So that is going to be in the next video. I hope you enjoyed the content, and if you liked it, please give it a thumb up. I didn't ask people to give it like thumb up, but I figure like the YouTube kind of like the analytics thing is that's like if there are more likes in the video, it's gonna promote it higher. So if you liked it, give it a thumb up, and then follow me on dribbble and subscribe to this channel as well. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.